Hi, I am Rat and today I will be doing this. Na, 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 na. Yes.
तू क्या है? तू बियर है बीप बीप. These lines will be embedded in our hearts forever. But is it by accident or by design that TVF comes with such memorable lines? Ever since the inception of web series in India, one OTT streaming service and YouTube channel that has made a distinct name for itself when it comes to bringing Indianness as well as creating content is TVF. And that is why we see many of its shows in IMDb top 250 shows. But how is TVF ahead of its game? How does TVF keep on creating relevant content for masses? How does TVF create magic? If any of these questions ever crossed your mind, then my friend, ask the TVF creators, when are they hiring me for revealing their secrets? TVF knows how to give a perfect concoct of entertainment, social message, humor, drama and emotion. Their stories are relatable, be it an employer in cubicles, a stand-up comedian in Humorously Yours, normal stories of abnormal siblings in The Tripling, a typical family in Ye Meri Family, and Gullak, young couples dealing with their live-in issues in Permanent Roommate, and the list goes on. Just hope that I don't get a copyright claim from TVF as I need to use some of their footage for this explainer. Also, I will discuss only their series, not their sketches or branded contents. But first, let's look at some of the staggering numbers that TVF has created over the years. So, to understand the TVF's secret formula, let's break down the first scene of TVF Pictures Season 1. And to break it down, we will use Save the Cat scene beat sheet, which is actually used by authors and screenwriters all over the world to write a scene. The first scene is of 10 minutes and 9 seconds. First, there is setup. A success party for getting investment is happening. We get a glimpse of the success one achieves on getting a startup funding. Then there is catalyst. In this party, Naveen meets his college senior Bhati, who is the reason for the company getting investors. And that's when the magic happens through the dialogue "Tu kya hai?" Then there is debate. Bhati debates with Naveen to pursue his startup idea and convinces him to leave his job. Then there is fun and games. The scene further moves back and forth, giving a comical layout to the decision taken by Naveen the previous night. This happens throughout the scene. Then there is midpoint. False victory. Back at the party, Naveen calls his boss late at night and tells him that he wants to leave the job. Being drunk, he thinks he is doing the right thing. Then there is all is lost. In the morning, Naveen realizes that it was a great mistake to leave the job. He wakes up with 23 missed calls, 109 WhatsApp messages, 1100 mails and one text message. Then there is light at the end of the tunnel, which is the last one. And just when everything seems lost, Naveen gets the news that Naveen's business plan might win the NASCOM business plan competition. And this is followed by TVF in their other series too. If by a minuscule chance you have not watched the TVF Pictures, then you can watch it either on TVF Play or MX Player. Cool. But this was about a single scene. TVF uses a beat sheet for their complete storyline too, and that I will explain a bit later. Apart from successfully telling stories, TVF has also neatly segmented its content offering. They are the Viral Fever, which is the parent channel, the Timeliners, which showcases news and lifestyle content. Girly Appa has women-centric content. Screen Patti, which caters to teenage humor. And Funda Curry, which deals with infotainment. Funda Curry, in my opinion, has great potential, but TVF has somehow unable to publish content in this channel. Link to each channel is provided in the description below. To make yourself distinct from others, you need to have an X factor. Well, TVF has its own TVF Factors. They are: TVF deals with social issues without being preachy. They use great background music. They use limited galis. Their dialogues are relatable. They understand the pulse of India, and their content is intelligent. In the penultimate segment of this video essay, I will discuss 12 stages of a hero, and for that I would take the example of Panchayat. This is a popular form of structure derived from Joseph Campbell's monomyth from his book The Hero with 1,000 Faces and adapted by Christopher Vogler in the 12 stages hero's journey. Just a disclaimer before starting to explain this, that although I will take the steps one after the other, but in actual screenplay, one might come before the next one. You will see, even in a series, they followed this structure, but not in a linear format. Also, one step could be used multiple times to give depth to a story. Number 1. The ordinary world. This is where the hero exists before his present story begins, oblivious of the adventures to come. It is his safe place. Panchayat begins with Abhishek Tripathi, played by Jitendra Kumar, in a bus travelling to a village called Fulera. In the first scene itself, we see he is nervous, and then there is a flashback where the protagonist, in this case Abhishek, we know that he was in ordinary world until he receives a job offer to work in a panchayat. This we know in the first 4 minutes of the series.
Arey Rat, you are beautiful.
Number 2. Call for adventure. The hero's adventure begins when he receives a call to action, such as a direct threat to his safety, his family, his way of life, or to the peace of the community in which he lives. It may not be as dramatic as gunshot, but simply a phone call or a conversation. In the flashback itself, Abhishek tells his friend that he has been unable to find a good job, so ended up working in a panchayat. But to work here, he has to leave his city life and move to a village. This is his call to adventure. Number 3. Refusal of the call. Although the hero may be eager to accept the quest, at this stage he will have fears that need overcoming, second thoughts, or even deep personal doubt as to whether or not he is up for the challenge. Reluctant at first, but left with no other option, Abhishek accepts the offer.
बाकी सब छोड़, पहले ये बता कैसे पता चला ये सब, जल्दी बता.
Number 4. Meeting the mentor. At this crucial turning point where the hero desperately needs guidance, he meets a mentor figure who gives him something he needs. In the 9th minute of the series Panchayat, we meet Abhishek's mentor Brij Bhushan, played by Raghubir Yadav, who is the acting Pradhan of the village in place of his wife Manju Devi, played by Neena Gupta. Number 5. Crossing the threshold. The hero is not ready to act upon his call to adventure and truly begins his quest, whether it is physical, spiritual, or emotional. Here, crossing the threshold is starting his journey. Abhishek has never lived in village, so the adventure starts from day 1 itself.
जोर से बोल के सबको बता दे.
Number 6. Test allies, enemies. Now, finally out of his comfort zone, the hero is confronted with an ever more difficult series of challenges that test him in a variety of ways. This step is repeated many times in the series. In every episode, Abhishek has tests to pass and enemies to fight with. Like in the first episode, he goes on a search for a key to the Panchayat office. In the second one, he has to deal with power cut as he is preparing for CAT examination, and so on. But yes, here we see the magic of TVF's writing. Even the test seems Indian. Every rural problem, like that of a marriage in the village, politics of a village, is mentioned quite intelligently in this series. Number 7. Approach to the inmost cave. The inmost cave may represent many things in the hero story, such as an actual location in which lies a terrible danger or an inner conflict which up till now the hero had not faced. In episode number 6 of season 1 named Bahut Hua Samman, the hero is scared to fight local goons, but when he see his mentor being pushed on the ground, Abhishek becomes fearless and beats the goon up. A good example of approaching the inmost cave. Number 8. Ordeal. The supreme ordeal may be a dangerous physical test or a deep innermost crisis that the hero must face in order to survive, or for that world in which hero lives to continue to exist. In this series, every episode is an ordeal which our protagonist faces, a test to survive in the village. Number 9. Reward. Seizing the sword. After defeating the enemy, surviving death, and finally overcoming his greatest personal challenge, the hero is ultimately transformed in a new state, emerging from the battle as a stronger person and often with a prize. As each episode is an ordeal, overcoming each one is a reward for Abhishek here. He feels more confident in himself as the series progresses.
ये वीडियो तो ठीक से देखना पड़ेगा.
Number 10. The Road Back. This stage in the hero's journey represents a reverse echo of the call to adventure, in which the hero had to cross the first threshold. Now he must return home with his reward, but this time the anticipation of danger is replaced with that of acclaim and perhaps vindication, absolution, or even exoneration. Here the road back happens at the end of the 7th episode, when Abhishek fails the CAT examination. Now he has to make a decision whether to continue as Panchayat secretary or go back home. This is where the resurrection begins as the phoenix rises from the ashes. Number 11. Resurrection. This is the climax in which the hero must have his final and most dangerous encounter with death. The final battle also represents something far greater than the hero's own existence, with its outcome having far-reaching consequences to his ordinary world and the lives of those he left behind. Here, Abhishek, our protagonist, faces the toughest test. Without going to the spoilers, I just want to mention that he was not ready to fight the final frontier, but something out of the blue happens to resurrect him. Last one, number 12. Return with the elixir. This is the final stage of the hero's journey, in which he returns home to his ordinary world, a changed man. Finally, in the final minutes of the first season, we see Abhishek return with the elixir. That's also a cliffhanger, which is a common thing in most of TVF series. And to know what the cliffhanger is, watch this series on Amazon Prime Videos.
अरे रट जी, आपके विचार कितने पवित्र हैं.
A famous YouTuber named Orithro also explained how TVF used 12 stages of a hero in the aspirants, but in Bengali. The link to the video is given in the description. One notable thing about TVF is that they treat the story as their protagonist, and when you treat your story as a protagonist, every actor looks like a protagonist. Before moving to the final chapter of this video essay, I want to make a little plea to you all. If you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and spread the word. I post videos on books, movies and TV series every single week. This video won't have been complete without mentioning the people behind the success of TVF in no particular order. I know I might have missed some of them, so please comment below their names. In an interview with Forbes, Arunab Kumar, founder and ex-CEO of TVF, said that, "I observed that there seemed to be a big population and demand for better and progressive content. which nobody is catering to. So I thought, why not try and make something for them? And that brings me to my final point. So, what's the TVF formula? And this, my friend, is the TVF formula. Using this formula along with good direction, crisp editing, authentic cinematography, using actors suited for the role makes TVF ahead of everyone when it comes to producing content in India. And that's why we see OTT giants like Amazon Prime and Netflix are collaborating with TVF. I just hope they maintain this for all their future contents. Please write down in the comments your views. See you in the next video.